Welcome to This Cat, The Mice and the Curry. I've been making curry for a while and thought I'd start doing a YouTube channel. But I thought before you start making curries, there's a couple of things that we think you need. Some optional and some are required. Some of my furry friends will be helping me with the relative stuff. Speaking of which, what have you got there? Hang on. Thank you. He's got a little chef jacket. That's my little chef. You just go by there in a minute. Measuring spoons. Definitely need measuring spoons. Comes in all the sizes from quarter, half, full teaspoon, tablespoon. If you say half a teaspoon, then that is 1 teaspoon and half a teaspoon for half a tablespoon. One of the other things that we think is a must is a grinder stroke chop. I can't take these fellas anywhere. What are you doing? And why have you trapped him inside there? That is hardly fair. Come on, let's get him out. Oh my God. I can't take you guys. Out you come. So, a James Martin chopper and grinder, or one or the other. You can do your coffee in there, but I do it for using spices. One of the devices it comes with is a chopper. I use that for chopping mango chutney, if I'm going to be putting that in a curry, because I like my curries smooth. You could use it also for mixing as well, I suppose, in smaller amounts. I love this device, especially for mixing up all of the ingredients to a fine level, ready to go in one of the inclusions in one of the stages. The other part of it is a grinder. I don't know if you can see that the blades are a lot smaller in there. That's for grinding down any of your seeds, your spices, pepper, cumin, coriander, fenugreek, fennel, cardamom seeds. If you're going to be making chicken tikka, all of those spices go in there. That gets it down to a lovely and fine degree, perfect for then going in your curries. Especially, one of the things you're going to need it for is your mix powder. Oh my Lord. I can't go anywhere without them doing anything. It's not a game, fellas. A mandolin. Right. You're going to end up cutting yourselves on there. And then who's going to have to take you to the vet? I would. Now, come on, let's get you off. All right, get out of it. And you. A mandolin. Perfect for getting any additives you're putting in there. Onions, for prime example. If you're making onion bhajis, you can actually set how thick you want them. So for onion bhajis, I would set it for the very thinnest of slice. I don't know if you can now see that on there, but a very, very thin slice. Number one, if you want to make very, very fine onions, you see that just poking up there now? So it makes very, very small squares. That's if you want to do julienne, other things like waffle cuts on the other side. So that would make very, very, very small squares of onion, which is what I prefer in Pasanda, Pathia, Dupiazza. Dupiazza's got two kinds of onions, coarse cut and thin cut, but that makes a lovely thin cut. Now then, there are some things that I would say are good to have to make it easier. One, a Ninja pressure cooker. If you're making your base gravies, in the Ninja, it will help if you can pressure cook it. Cuts the time down tremendously. When I'm doing base gravy, I have a pot doing it the normal way without pressure cooking and a pot pressure cooking at the same time. So I can end up doing 2 loads of base gravy at the same time, minimizing the amount of time that it takes. So over 3 hours, 2.5, 3 hours, I end up with, I think it's about 32 portions of base gravy that we then bag up and freeze undiluted in the freezer. While we're on the subject of base gravy, there is one thing that you will need after you've made your base gravy to get down all the onions blended. I would suggest a stick blender. This is a Braun stick blender with a metal shaft for putting into the curries. It also, I don't know if you can see it moving, it then pulls in more of the liquid, more of the foods to be blended into the bottom. That is fabulous. Adjustable trigger for the amount of speed. That really blends up all of the onions in the base gravy, however you make your base gravy. An immersion blender is the one. Tried it with a standard blender where you had to pour it all in, but I found with the heat it degraded the plastic very quickly. In the Ninja, especially the Foodie, you can cook on kebabs, which is very, very helpful when you have chicken tikka. Oh my dear Lord. It is not a merry-go-round. I can't take these fellas anywhere. Look, I'm gonna have to sterilize all of this equipment now after you lot have been in here. You're still mice at the end of the day. Come on, get out. Out. Get out. Thank you. So this fits inside the Ninja Foodie. You put your pieces of chicken tikka on the spikes like a kebab, put it on air fry inside the Ninja, and it cooks fantastically. Okay, you don't have it the same as the tandoor, but you are cooking it at home. A tandoor is on my list, but I don't think my wife would let me. This is a good in-between. So you have the Foodie for pressure cooking and for cooking the chicken tikka. But that, I think, is only an optional. You can cook the chicken tikka on the grill. You need tablespoons, you need the grinder, and I would also say a mandolin, because that would save you so much time. Hopefully, you'll be able to enjoy my curry videos soon.